Welcome to this Leica talk. My name is Mark Walti. I'm a part of the global training team here at Leica. And today I have a very special guest with Jesko von Oeynhausen. Jesko, very warm welcome.
Hello, Mark.
We are in a beautiful lights park in a studio. It's great to be here. Jesko, what are you doing at Leica?
Well, I'm the product manager for the Leica M system.
So, product manager M, you work every day with the M system. It must be the best job at this company.
Absolutely right. Yeah, it's a very pleasing job to be responsible for this beautiful, passionate product.
So you do every day something with lenses, with cameras, and you know already what's going to happen in 3 or 4 years from now.
Absolutely. Yes, the most exciting part of my job is to define how our product should be like, to make sure that we have the right product in place and time that brings real value to the needs of our customers.
I'm sure there will be many jealous people out there right now about your job. And of course, when we talk about M cameras, Jesko, what did you bring with you today? We have something very special.
Today I'm proud to show you the latest model in the M10 family. It's the Leica M10-R.
M10R, so their letter is different. And normally I know we don't talk about where a name comes from, but it's just you and I in this room here. So Jesko, come on, what stands the R for?
Yeah, you're right. Usually we keep it as an unspoken secret, what we thought behind the letters. But in this case, it's very easy to guess because the main new feature of that camera is its sensor. It has a higher resolution of 40 megapixel. The M10 and M10P, they have a 24 megapixel sensor. So yeah, in this case, the R stands for resolution.
Higher resolution, more pixels. What can you do with a higher resolution? I think you brought a picture with you. I mean, you have several pictures.
Yes, I have one picture that we have taken to show what the 40 megapixel sensor is capable to do. So this is the full image crop, and even like this, it's an impressing sharpness and detail in this A2 print. But if you crop out the center,
the part of the strawberry,
you get really, really impressive detail. All the hairs on the leaves of the strawberry can be seen very, very clearly in a natural quality that has been not visible before yet. So with 40 megapixel, especially, you are able to crop pictures much more than before.
Of course, we will get back a little bit to cropping, yes or no. But first, it would be interesting to know, we launched a few months ago the M10 monochrome, and now the colored version. Why first monochrome and then color? Did we need to put in some color? Or?
Yeah, kind of like this. Yeah, both products were planned to be equipped with the latest generation sensor. We started both projects simultaneously. But as it's one challenge to develop all the technical stuff that you and I don't really understand, it's the silicon development to achieve signal-to-noise ratio in the sensor that are capable to have high ISO quality. And there's a second challenge to develop the colors, the color management, the color filter array on the sensor, and the cover glasses. So to make sure that both products come into the market in time, we had 2 separate projects, and luckily the color version went quite well. This is why we now can release shortly after the M10 monochrome, the M10R.
So that tells me already a little bit as well what you do on a daily business, but as I have you here, I would like to look a little bit behind the curtain. How does a day look in your working life, Jesko? What is doing a product manager at Leica?
Yeah, every day is different, of course. But the main, the most exciting part of my job is, of course, when it comes to a new generation of cameras. So we collect all the feedback that we have got from previous generations. We know from feedback of our customers what they are asking for, what they miss, and what can be optimized. And once we get into this phase, we sit together with the designers and start drawings like this. I just brought you the early sketch of the M10, where we already visualized the new features like the ISO dial and the main switch and the operation with the 3 buttons. And we frequently get back to customers and collect their feedback on these features. And once we see that could be the direction to go, we develop a, as we call it in German, Funktionsmuster. And I brought you the original, very first Funktionsmuster of the M10, where you see that we, in a very basic way, made these new features like the buttons and the ISO dial, and we give this back again into the hands of customers and focus groups to get the feedback if we have done everything proper or if we should change something. And like this, we get on and on to get to the final state.
So basically, we're using the experience of people using a Leica M for a long time. We see what R&D can do and bring this all together, which of course is great for new customers, people who start new with the M system. They benefit of many years of experience.
Yes, right. If you buy an M10 today, you get the experience of now like 66 years experience of famous and good photographers and passionate customers. And the system, the camera is optimized from each generation to the next to be as perfect as it is now.
And talking about perfect, we have this sensor, and we know that a sensor with a higher resolution has more pixels, so the pixel gets smaller, and normally smaller pictures create some more noise. And is this still perfect then?
Well, of course, yes. Otherwise, we wouldn't have done that product. Basically, yeah, the rule is right. Having smaller pixels could lead to less sensitivity, but there's progress in the sensor development, which makes it possible that the signal-to-noise ratio is at least as good as with the 24-megapixel sensor. And further improvements of the sensor board design led to less banding and a more homogenic picture. But by this, I can tell you from my personal experience that the high ISO performance, which everybody could worry about, performs even better than with other.
And of course, it's a Leica, it's a M, it has to be perfect. And I know you brought another picture which shows this actually pretty impressive.
Well, yes. I brought you this landscape picture of a sunset. This is the very basic raw file as you would capture with the camera. You underexpose it to get all the details on the sensor. So you would never use it like this. You tweak out all the details that are inside the shadows, and this shows in one picture all the advantages of that new sensor. So you get really rich detail and contrast and colors even in the lowest shadows. So you don't see any noise or whatever could disturb you on a tweaked image, and you get
a lot of details.
Yeah, finest details in the background here, and the houses in the background.
So then we have a bigger sensor in this camera. And how about the lenses? Many of our customers do already have lenses since many years and want to use them. How does that work together?
Yeah, of course, the first thing when you have such a brand new product with higher resolution is you screw on the very best lens you can get. And in my case, I have access to all the beautiful M lenses. I have taken, of course, the Apo 50, for example, to check out what 40 megapixel can do. And you really get goosebumps when you dig deep into the pixels to see the details that you can even capture with open aperture with lenses like this. And we have high-performing lenses in every focal length. But also the old lenses that I have, the vintage lenses. I love to use old screw mount lenses. It's still the same fun as before to use these lenses on that sensor. I have one nice example because some weeks ago I had the chance to test this beautiful vintage Noctilux lens, the 1.2 Noctilux, and I wanted to try out what the look of that lens is. So I had the M10-R with me. So I wanted to do both, test that new camera and test that lens. And I figured out that it's really possible to do everything with one setup. I made this open aperture picture with shallow depth of field, but still I was able to capture a very sharp image by stopping down 1 or 2 f-stops. I could crop it to a 75 millimeter crop. And if you dig deeper and deeper, you find lots of details which are amazing to find.
It's amazing. It's basically a lens from the 60s, and on the other hand, we have a camera from 2020, and it still gives wonderful, detailed pictures. That's amazing.
That's the fascinating part of the M system, that you can use the things that you have maybe possessed for like 50 years. And still, it is a lot of fun to use it with modern and state-of-the-art cameras.
Now, we have the M10R as a state-of-the-art camera, as you were just saying. On the other hand, we keep the M10P in our portfolio.
Right.
What's the use case for these two cameras?
Yeah, we kept both in the lineup because they both cover, I would say, separate fields of application. The M10R, with its rich detail, is the best choice for customers who want to mainly make landscape or architecture photography, where it comes, where details are very important. Maybe other customers that never crop. I know that cropping is kind of a holy grail for many of our customers that have more value in an extremely fast camera and in handy 24 megapixel file size. They might still prefer the M10P. This is why we have both.
So both cases, and of course we would prefer that you have both cameras, so you can use it whatever you need it for.
Yeah, if you're lucky enough, it's the nicest thing to have both.
And Jesko, as I have here for a few minutes for the end of this talk, do you have any tips and tricks to take out to new customers and existing customers?
Well, I can just basically say, use the camera on a daily basis, use it in the way you feel comfortable, you have fun. If you go out and think, I would just make some snapshots for fun today, use a lens that you feel comfortable with, like a compact vintage lens. But if you want to do something different to your daily photography and capture tons on lots of details, take your time and make a perfect shot. Maybe use a tripod and think about what you're doing and enjoy photography.
Take the camera with you, and I still have a lot to learn in photography and with the M. Should we go and can I play a little bit with the M10R
sure.
as well?
Yeah.
And this is what you should do as well. Take M10R and just have fun, enjoy new lenses, all lenses, and I think this is what it's all about. We wish you all the best, and Jesko, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you again for your invitation.
And let's go and take some pictures.
Okay, let's go.